Super Mario Galaxy is the first real 3D platformer on the Wii, technically a successor to Super Mario Sunshine. And as always, Nintendo came up with something innovative that hasn't been done in the series before. This time, it was the planet Hold on, didn't we f***ing do this video already? Who writes these scripts? What's going on? Back to the start. Super Mario Galaxy is a popular 3D platformer on the Nintendo Wii, with over 11 million copies sold around the globe. Being such a major title for Nintendo, it went through many development cycles and a lot of things got scrapped. But there was one level the developers just couldn't let go of: Starman's Fortress. This was one of the first, if not the very first, fleshed out planet that was made. This planet went through several stages of development, but ended up not being included at all. But why? The planet itself was a fortress, obviously. On first glance, it looks like a regular fortress without the intention of using round shapes. It doesn't even look like a planet. While this wouldn't be anything new for the game in the end, it would definitely be weird if this was the very first planet. Super Mario Galaxy was all about the planets after all. But what exactly was Starman's Fortress? Looking at the 3D model of the map, we can clearly see that this was some sort of castle with several platforms and no interior. Even though the planet has an extreme amount of detail for a scrapped level, one starts to ask himself, where is the challenge? Looking at the model, it's only a couple of platforms. Obviously, there are things missing. But what would that be? Well, there's several possibilities.
First of all, let's have a look at the early concept design of the planet. The castle was meant to have a pole and a pipe on top, possibly one of the star locations. But we can also see that the ground was meant to have different areas, such as a snow area, a water segment, and a more summer-like area, all of which are surrounding the castle itself. One side of this green area even features a slope like we know it from Bob-omb Battleground in Super Mario 64. These would have given the developers great opportunities for some fun levels, but something else also catches the eye rather quickly. On the bottom side of the sketch is a boss crab. This is an early boss monster that gets scrapped and turned into Megalag. In general, the bottom of the map is like a regular planet. Disregarding the boss crab, it is definitely a possibility that the player would start at the bottom and have many ways to reach the castle, as an open design like a planet would allow for that. So how would the world be if it was implemented? Looking at the scrap files altogether again, we can clearly see that there is a star planet, a star-shaped planet, which also appears in the concept art of Starman Fortress. Then there's the planet Disk, another flat planet and also seen in the concept art. So it is safe to assume that Starman Fortress was the center of a universe that evolved all around planets with a flat surface. And which other planet has a flat surface? Exactly! Home Planet, another scrap planet that was playable during E3 and is still on the cover of the game. So there is a definite chance that Starman Fortress was meant to be playable in one of the first universes. But even if so, what would the enemies have been like? There is no information on enemies, right?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I present you the Starman. This purple little blob didn't even get anything except for some eyes before being ditched by the developers again.
It was meant to transform into different types of enemies when damaged. In what kind of enemies was it supposed to transform? We have no idea. But judging by the name, it was probably meant to be introduced in the same universe as Starman Fortress. So why did it get scrapped when it got redesigned so many times? If we have a look at the 3D model again, we can see that there is a pipe on one of the platforms, and it goes right through the platform. In the final release, pipes are used as teleporters in a way, so this pipe could have either been meant to pass the player through the platform, but another possibility could be that it was used to manipulate the gravity, but that's really just speculation. In the files, we can also find a similar model called Neo Starman Fortress, which probably means that this stage was a final attempt in redesigning the map. This time, the castle was removed altogether and the ground is flooded with water. On the top is a pipe that was probably meant to lead somewhere. One of the only parts that remained along with the other pipe leading through the platform.
However, since textures are missing, it is really likely that this was also scrapped early on, as they couldn't find any use for this anymore. The concept was scrapped at this stage of development already, and was probably just a last desperate attempt to bring something back that went through so much planning and modeling that it would be sad for them to just keep it out of the game. But in the end, with the Starman mob removed, the star planet and possibly the entire universe being scrapped already, it just had nowhere to fit into anymore, and was left out altogether. As a developer, this was probably one of the hardest decisions and cuts they had to make. So in the end, they put hours upon hours into it, but it just didn't work out. But new planets took its place. In the end, Super Mario Galaxy was still a very interesting game. It had some awesome worlds and some cool mechanics. And sometimes, things are removed for a good reason after all. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed. If you want to watch more stuff, then click the annotations on the screen right now. And I just want to say, it's great that you watch our videos. It's very lovely, and I hope you continue to enjoy them.